that message and took it too far too superficially, like he has been treated in all his prophecies about, for instance, there being the donkey of the Dajjal, the Antichrist. They have taken things too literally. I'll give an illustration to make this thing very clear, that although there are certain things related ultimately to Muhammad, but this is not what he meant superficially. There was a hidden message which he was giving. And later on, we know for certain that in certain cases the hidden message was that which has already been revealed. For instance, he said that if you want to be saved from the evil influence of the Dajjal, you read the first 10 verses of Surah Kahf and the last 10 verses of the Surah Kahf daily, recite them. So people started reciting them, and even till today there are many who would be reciting them without knowing the import of the message. What was said was that if you read the first 10 verses and the last 10 verses with attention, you would find Dajjal described in therein, in all its aspects. So whenever he appears, you will recognize him. And if you know from where you are being attacked, you can save yourself. If you don't know where the attack is coming from, you are totally helpless against the attack, even if it's a minor attack. So now when Hazrat Masih Maud told us and explained things to us, we're telling that these first 10 verses are in fact dealing with the Christianity, and the last 10 verses deal with the material progress of Yajuj Majuj. That is the same. The Dajjal has two aspects, one religious aspect which is Christianity, one material aspect which is called the progress of the Yajuj Majuj. So that is exactly what is said in these two particular areas of the surah. So it was a message for people to work, to put in their labor, to try to understand the Holy Quran and find out what is said there. It is like that story, that common story about a father who was about to die and who apparently was leaving nothing for his children except for an odd acre or two of land. So when he was about to die, he said to his children, look here, I have buried a great treasure for you under whatever land I am leaving for you. So day and night they put the earth upside down, trying to discover the treasure, and there was no treasure to be found. So a wise man was passing by. He said, what has happened to you? You have done so much. You have put in so much labor for nothing. He said, this is what our father told us. He said he was a wise man. He wanted you to get a very rich crop out of this. So this is the treasure he has left for you. When they sowed their seed on that well pulverized soil, it is said that the crop was so rich and so wonderful that they actually became rich. So there are hints of wise men, not of superficial people. Prophets' sayings should be taken as prophet sayings, and you should delve deep into the meaning of those sayings. But unfortunately, as I have said, people have made a joke out of these things, not understanding the message. They convert it into exactly the things which Muhammad would never have permitted his followers to indulge in. And he never did. In the time of the first history of Islam, during the time of Muhammad bears me out that these things were not found in Sahaba, which are being pursued by the people of the latter days.